The fine arts is a very broad term that consists of various levels. Art is a fine art, dance is a fine art, theater is a fine art, music is a fine art. Why are these fine arts so important? These fine arts are important because they foster creativity in students. Students' creativity is utilized because of the fine arts. The fine arts contribute to art students being 4 times as likely to be recognized for academic achievement. The fine arts in general have an immense impact on students that participate in them.
How has singing and music impacted your life?
Singing is something that I've always grown up with and doing, and it's always just been a great safe place for me to say things that I couldn't just say to people in regular day-to-day basis. I've been dancing/performing since I was a child, and I know that putting myself out there and really just taking chances through performing has really increased my self-confidence, and also dance and musical theater give me an outlet to express myself in ways that I know I couldn't if I didn't have these things.
How's it helped you become the person you are today?
I've met a lot of really inspiring people through dance who they always tell their story through their dances, and you can learn from their past mistakes or their struggles through their movement to better yourself.
Really helped me channel internal struggles and get through life, and just you have that urge to create, so art's really been there for me in that respect.
How's it helped you become the person you are today?
Well, being around other artists, especially in college, you can just be as weird as you want, or you can really just be who you want to be, or be the person you are inside, and I really appreciate that about like the art program.
Ooh. Dance has always been a part of my life. I've been dancing since the age of 4 and have studied with many dance professionals growing up. It's always been a passion of mine. I have enjoyed it, and I enjoy all styles of dance. I was fortunate enough to go to college in dance, and have gotten 2 degrees in dance, and am now teaching it, and I love it.
How has it helped you become the person you are today?
Dance has always been a creative outlet for me, so it's a great form of expression. I'm very musically inclined as well, so I enjoy performing to music and all styles of music and dance.
Yes, because there's a lot of different ways that students can like express themselves. Like if they're given like a certain piece, like assigned to them, they can still make it.
Even though there are obvious benefits to students participating in the fine arts programs, 1.3 million elementary school students are without access to music classes. This has to do with federal funding for the arts being $250 million, while funding for the National Science Foundation is at the $5 billion mark. This can be seen because a surveyed 66% of public school teachers say that subjects such as art and music are being crowded out of class.
How do you feel about the fine arts not getting as much attention in schools?
I think that it's terrible. It's a really bad decision, and I think that not only should the arts be in the schools, but they should be a really big focus. Not saying that it should be more than your academics, but art is just really important to many kids because it's their way of communication, their way of expression, and like you can really find who you are through different arts. And so it's really imperative that kids get that experience.
Sort of equalize the budget, like have the same amount for sports as you do for art, drama, dance, in that respect.
So being taken out of schools.
I feel like schools are starting to focus too much attention on STEM, mathematics, stuff like that, and not enough on arts, because I feel like we'll look back in the future and realize that we're slowly just taking away the community that we have through arts. And they really give kids/teenagers in school a way to express themselves in ways they might not feel comfortable like at home or in their workplaces.
Why do you think the fine arts are important, specifically musical and theater, to you?
Musical theater is important to me because I have met a lot of people, as I said, it gives me a chance to perform, and I really just like to see people smile because of something I did, you know, like my performance made that kid smile, something like that.
If you could say one thing to those in charge of budgeting in schools, what would you say?
I think that you don't need to focus all of the budget on fine arts, obviously. Some people just aren't into arts or visual arts of any kind, but I think that there should be at least a little bit more of a budget put aside for the arts, for people that just maybe aren't good at math or aren't good at science.
If the art program was no longer here, people won't be able to express their creativity, and for a lot of people, expressing their creativity makes them happy. So if they don't have something there that makes them happy, they'll become sad, and it's not good for the health to be sad all the time. It can easily cause depression, and with depression, you get the lack of work, and you stop working, you don't care about your grades, and your grades start to drop. And as your grades start to drop, your chances of graduating start to decline. And since so many people are within something that is art related and autistic, that's too many people in the school where the graduation average will go down because so many people stop working.
That's really a sensitive subject. I think that fine art should be accessible to all children, and I think that it's very important, probably now more than ever. I know there's a real push for technology and science and math, which I am completely on board with. I agree. But when you start taking the arts away, you are really missing out on a very large population that needs self-expression, that needs creative outlets, a way to channel energy. It's very frustrating when the arts are removed, when things want to get cut, when budgets are tight, they want to cut the arts, and when it's really the arts that help enhance all of life.
If you could say one thing to those in charge of budgeting in schools, what would you say?
Cut something else? I don't know. I know it's a very fine line, and I am budget oriented as well. I know that they do walk a fine line trying to make a little bit of money go a long way, but there has to be resources left available and jobs for artists, visual artists, technical artists, dance, vocal, music. There's just such a wide variety, and it only enhances the lives of the children. Don't take arts out of school.
Apase in dance, rigging in theater, learning how to score in art, and performing an adagio in music helps various fine arts students express themselves and find people who share common interests. The fine arts are essential in schools because they allow students to be themselves. They allow students to find things that they enjoy. And at the end of the day, the students are benefited from the things they participate in.